And welcome to Millard South Media's audio broadcast of the Class A final here at Pinnacle Bank Arena in Lincoln, Nebraska. My name is Wilson Dittman alongside my panel, Jonathan Spieler there on the end, and the Mason Steinhoff in the middle. And man, this is going to be a phenomenal matchup, the Pinnacle event as we like to call it, between the two best teams in Class A. Everything on the line. And here we go. Number 1 Bellevue West taking on number 2 Millard North for the 5th year in a row. Some history on this matchup. They first started playing in this state title game in 2020 with Bellevue West getting the victory. Then the next 2 years, Millard North back-to-back. And then last year, Bellevue West beat Millard North in a close one. And now they are right back where they belong. The 5th time in a row these teams match up. So let's just start off talking about the number 1 seed, Bellevue West, starting off with you, Mason.
Yeah, well, really, Bellevue West, they had a really convincing win against Omaha Central yesterday when they came out victorious. But really, for them, Jaden Jackson for the Thunderbirds is a great athlete all around. He's the guy to look out for on the court tonight. And I think, looking at both teams, which one of the star players will rise to the occasion might be the deciding factor in the game, might decide the basketball game.
Jonathan?
I really think it's going to be a close game. Both teams had good performances in their semifinal games. Both teams just barely coming out on top. I would agree with Mason. I think it's all going to be about these star players and who's going to prevail and who can outdo each other, especially as we've been talking about, the team play is also very important. All 5 players have to contribute.
Yeah, so let's go and talk about Bellevue West. You mentioned Jaden Jackson there, Mason. Once he got going yesterday night against Central, it was hard to stop Bellevue West. And really, that's why there's 2 keys to the game for the Thunderbirds. One is to really stop Rollins inside. Derek Rollins, prolific post scorer for the Mustangs. You got to stop him. And number 2, crash the glass. They like to think that they're bigger and stronger than the Mustangs. You got to do that in order to get this victory. And then when we look at the Mustangs and what they bring to the table, of course, we mentioned Derek Rollins, the big forward inside. You also have Neal, the sharpshooter, which brings us to their 2 keys to the game, which is number 1, contain Jaden Jackson. Of course, that is the star player, South Dakota State commit for Bellevue West. And then number 2 is to get the 3-point shooting going. If you're the Mustangs, you have a couple guys on this starting lineup who can shoot from anywhere, whether that's Neal, Camden Money, Elijah Gaith. Get them the basketball, get them involved. If they can do that, folks, it's going to be a high-scoring affair. So both teams taking the floor here. Bellevue West, the number 1 seed in this tournament, in their all-whites. And then we see Millard North on the other end in their all-grays. And we'll check in on the student section. Starting off with Bellevue West. It's all right. It's only about 5 rows deep. Not the greatest, I'd say, for the number 1 seed. Then you look at Millard North. Clearly the more superior student section. I'd say they're about 10, 11 rows deep in an all-white theme, which is ironic because they're wearing gray and Bellevue West is wearing white. But you know what? That's all right. As for the crowd, it's filling up here. About as full as it's been all day. You would expect this thing to be almost packed by the time we get to tip-off. So both teams warming up right now on the floor. And just a quick overview of what happened yesterday, the action, starting off with Bellevue West taking on Omaha Central. That was the first semifinal game. And that was really a back-and-forth ball game, really especially at halftime, and then Bellevue West pulled away, guys.
Yep, like I said, just very convincing for Bellevue West. And, these 2 teams here right in front of us right now, match up very well talent-wise.
And then we look at Millard North versus Westside. That one went down to the wire, went over to overtime. Westside had an opportunity to get the victory at the buzzer, and it was taken away by Millard North with a steal. And the Mustangs right back where they belong, another state title game. So as you see on the screen, we have about 2 minutes till tip-off. It's filling up here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. So what's going to happen is they're going to go through the light show, and then they're going to start announcing the benches along with the starting lineups for both squads. Bellevue West head coached by Steve Klein, his first season after taking over after the legendary Coach Woodard. And on the other side of things, Millard North, head coached by Mike Etzelmiller. A guy who's been around basketball for a long time within the state. And, of course, has 2 state titles to his name at Millard North. So we're going to take a very quick break here. Thank you for joining us on the pregame show. Make sure to tune in all game long, and this is going to be a fun one here at Pinnacle Bank. Welcome back to Pinnacle Arena. They're currently going through the light show. A little bit of a spectacle here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. So, again, we'll let this go on. They have a hype video playing on the screen, and we will be right back. And welcome back to Lincoln, Nebraska. Pinnacle Bank Arena for the Class A finale. Bellevue West taking on Millard North. We just went through the light show, and now they are going to announce both of the benches and then starting lineup. So they're going to start off with the Mustangs. They'll run through their bench, then they'll go through Bellevue West's bench, and then they'll start off with starting lineups for both teams. Again, very full crowd here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. We'd imagine by tip-off, this thing will be almost to the brim, at least in the lower bowl. Just waiting for the PA announcer to really get us going. I think we're waiting for Nebraska Public Media to get out of a timeout. And now here we go. A lot of blue and purple in the crowd here. A little applause there for Millard North as the PA announcer calls their name. And then, of course, the ovation for Bellevue West. So they're going to start off with the non-starters for the Mustangs. Again, just looking at this team with a record of 23-2. I mean, they've been phenomenal all year long, just like you'd expect from a team of their caliber. Of course, going down to the wire last night against Westside. This is a team that has not lost a game since January when they lost to Curie in Illinois. And this is also a team that beat Bellevue West earlier this season, basically one of the first games of the new year. They beat Bellevue West 85-74, so already a team that's beat this team once. Once again, Millard North in their signature all grays with a little bit of a blue trim. So they run through the bench for the Mustangs. Now they will go over the T-Birds. Starting off with Isaiah Morris on the bench, Nebraska football commit, a guy that a lot of Husker fans are going to want to keep your eye on in this ball game. The T-Birds enter tonight 26-1, almost perfect. Again, their only loss coming to Millard North this season. And the T-Birds in the all-white uniforms today, once again as the home team. So they run through the bench for Bellevue West. Now it's time for the starting lineups. Starting off with the number 2 seeded Millard North Mustangs. Number 1, Grant Urbekin, getting them going. Number 11, Eli Gape. The sharpshooter up next, number 13, Neal Mosser. Number 15, Camden Money. And now, last but not least, averaging 18 points per game, number 23, Derek Rollins. Millard North is head coached by Mike Etzelmiller. And they have won 2 state titles in the last 5 years, trying to make history once again and add another trophy to the collection tonight. So now it's time for the number 1 seeded Bellevue West T-Birds. Starting off with a big man, South Dakota football commit Jacob Arope. Up next, the sharpshooter, senior guard Steven Polacek. Now number 10, the point guard, Eldon Turner. South Dakota State commit averaging 19 points per game. Up next, Jaden Jackson. And last but not least, the junior forward, 6'6", Robbie Garcia. And the T-Birds are head coached by first-year Steve Klein. So both teams on the court now getting ready to shake hands on the Husker logo. And they do just that. Bellevue West and Millard North meeting right now on the midcourt. And it's almost time to get this one started. So the starting 5 for both teams huddling up on the Husker logo. Getting ready to start this one off. A state title on the line. Both teams getting in their place.
2 teams that deserve all the respect, all the credit in the world for making it to this very game.
So refs not letting them go just yet. And now they have the signal to get this one started. The head referee going to center court for the tip-off. Here we go. He throws it up. And Millard North wins the tip. So let's get this one started for the Class A championship here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Elijah Gaith has it at the top of the key for Millard North. Gives it over to Neal Monster. 3-pointer on the way. No good. A little bit of a heat check to get the Mustangs started. T-Birds now on the other end, trying to capitalize. Turner with a fake pass. Now gives it over to Robbie Garcia in the post. Puts up a move. Got it to go. Robbie Garcia with a quick connection. Elijah Gaith brings it down the other end for the Mustangs. Gives it over to Derek Rollins. Now Neal Monster at the top of the key. Monster directing traffic, finds Grant Urbecken. Back to Derek Rollins on left wing. Puts up a 3-pointer, contested, no good. And that was rebounded by Jaden Jackson. He'll take it the other way. Bellevue West is going left to right here on this court. They give it now to Eldon Turner, now to Robbie Garcia. Ball movement all around the perimeter. Steven Polacek will drive inside, puts up a tough layup. No good, rebounded by Monster. He'll push the pace, throws up to Gaith on a fast break, getting to the paint. Now kicks it over to the corner. And they'll just slow things down and kick it over to the wing. Derek Rollins. Now Gaith on the right wing trying to drive inside. Puts up a floater, got it to go. Elijah Gaith connects for the first bucket of the game for the Mustangs. Eldon Turner now going quick for the T-Birds. Robbie Garcia has it on the top of the key. Gives it back to Eldon Turner. He has it on the right wing. Back to Garcia. Garcia pivoting, looking for somebody to pass to. Now he's going to drive inside, kicks it back to Turner. Now to the big man, Jacob Arope. Backing down Derek Rollins, getting inside the paint. Finds a path, and he misses the layup. Fighting for his own board. He gets a second chance for Jacob Arope. Look what he found, and that's 2 points. So Derek Rollins will bring across the timeline for Millard North, down by 2 points early in this ball game. Money over to Rollins at the top of the key, directing traffic over to Gaith. 3-pointer away from the wing, no good, air ball, but Millard North gets their own board. Monster now has it. Shaking off contact, spin move, tough mid-range, got it to fall. Neal Monster with a crafty move, 4-2. Now the T-Birds going quick. Steven Polacek has it in the left corner. Jab stepping now, gives it over to Garcia to reset. Jaden Jackson has it. He falls down, out of bounds, and it'll be Millard North basketball. Looks like he just tripped over his 2 feet, and he's shaken up. He's trying to walk up under his own power, and he is not okay. Jaden Jackson limping pretty severely after falling down to the ground. He's signaling to his head coach to keep him in the ball game. So that is something to watch. Millard North will inbound. And Jaden Jackson very clearly in some pain, but he still will play. Neal Mosser has on the right wing. Now trying to feed Derek Rollins inside. He has a path. Easy layup for the big man. T-Birds now going quick. Jaden Jackson still limping on the floor. Stephen Polachek will drive baseline. Gives it over to Jackson in the corner. Jackson jab stepping. He'll drive baseline this time. Over to the other corner. Three-point on the way from Turner. No good. The ball go out of bounds and it'll be off of Jacob Arope. So the Mustangs will take over. Fast-paced ball game already to start off. Gaith will bring it down the floor for the Mustangs. 10 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Gives it over to Derek Rollins at the top of the key. Back to Gaith on the right wing. Now Urbanek trying to feed Rollins inside. He's being double-teamed. Has to give it to Neal Mosser. Long three-pointer for him. No good. Isaiah McMorris comes down with the board. McMorris will take it the other end for Bellevue West. Off to Stephen Polachek on the right wing. Over now to Arope at the top of the key. To Eldon Turner on the left wing. He's holding the basketball, waiting. Now to Garcia. Scanning, looking for somebody to pass to. Now gets it back to Turner. Crowd getting loud here on the Millard North side. Now Eldon Turner with the mid-range J, no good. He gets his own rebound. It's still out. Jacob Arope somehow gets it and he lays it in.
Basketball just bobbled right into his hands.
So Millard North now trying to respond, all netted up at 6. Neal Mosser over to Urbanek. Now Gaith. He'll drive baseline. Guarded by Turner. Tough finish. Got to fall. Eli Gaith with 2 nice buckets to start off this ball game. Now Robbie Garcia has it. Over to Eldon Turner. Screen is set for him. He'll drive into the paint. Has to kick it over to Stephen Polachek on the left wing. Jab stepping. Now to Garcia. 3-point on the way from him. Got it! Robbie Garcia connects from the distance. Now Millard North, a 3-pointer of their own. No good, and that one will be rebounded by the T-Birds. Stephen Polachek the other way. He's going to try to crash the glass. Now it's spin around Jay. No good, rebounded. Is still out. Fighting for it. And it'll go out of bounds. It'll be Mustang basketball. So it was about to go out of bounds. Bellevue West trying to make a play to save it. Still ends up going out. So that is going to force a media timeout here under 4 minutes in the first quarter. And we're just going to keep it right here on Millard South Media. Again, back and forth ball game just like you'd expect here in the first quarter. And right now Bellevue West leads by 1 over Millard North. So boys, what did you guys think out there?
Well, I think both teams are really setting the pace. You know, they're playing basketball. They want to play basketball. It's been fast-paced, intense. You know, both teams just pushing the ball up the court at every opportunity they are given.
Yeah, I think both teams are trying to feed the big guys. I think Arope is going to be a big player for Bellevue West tonight. Obviously, the bigger guy of the two. And I think just keep an eye on him as he already has 4 points.
Yeah, so immediate timeout. They're currently checking out Jacob Arope, taping up. It looks like he kind of got dinged up on one of those possessions. So immediate timeout. Bellevue West leads by 9. Both teams shooting very efficient from the field, about 44% for both of them. But however, the difference has been the ability to shoot from 3. Bellevue West with only 2 attempts. They made one of them, averaging 50%. Millard North already 0 for 5 from three-point land. So both teams getting ready to retake the floor. 1-point ball game here in the first 5 minutes at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Major Mosser checking in for the Mustangs. And this Mustang team, they like to run about 6 or 7 deep. You don't see that more so from the T-Birds. They only like to go about 6 deep. So Derek Rollins gives it over to Elijah Gaith on the right wing. Pump fakes, tries to drive inside, kicks it over to the left corner. Major Mosser with a 3, no good, rebounded by the T-Birds. Isaiah Morris will bring it the other way. Brings it across the Husker logo, going right on this court. Goff gives it over to McMorris. Now McMorris drives baseline. Pull up Jay. And they're going to call a foul before the shot was off. Or excuse me, right when he went up for the shot. So that will send Isaiah Morris to the line for 2 free throws. McMorris averaging about 7 points per game for Bellevue West. And he shoots 65% from the charity stripe. First one on the way for him, money. Jaden Jackson and Jacob are up checking right back in. They got checked out for 2 injuries. No problem, though. We'll be right back in this ballgame. McMorris misses the free throw. Again, it should be noted he was a transfer from Millard North a couple years ago, went over to Bellevue West. Derek Rollins trying to feed him inside. It's taken away by Bellevue West. But now it's taken away once again by Millard North. Gaith pushing the pace. Tough lip. Got it to 4. No good. Just rattled out. Now McMorris takes the other end for Bellevue West. He's being double teamed in the corner. Gives it over to Jensen. Now over to Jackson at the top of the key. Jackson setting up the offense. Working on Rollins. Back over to McMorris. Screen is set for him. Feeds a rope inside. A rope gets blocked. Urbekin with the play. There's going to be a foul on the floor. Looks like it's going to be on Bellevue West. McMorris. One foul apiece by both teams here in this first quarter. Millard North with the basketball. Eli Gaith will bring it across the timeline, guarded closely by Jaden Jackson. He sets a screen. Now trying to work inside. Nice crossover, good handle, and a rope with a heads-up play to snatch that basketball. It'll be a jump ball, and the T-Birds will take over. Yeah, rope just double-teamed him right when Gaith wasn't looking and snatched it.
And we'll have some subs in for the Mustangs.
So Jaden Jackson will bring it across the timeline. Guarded closely by Rahman. Working on him, trying to get inside the lane. Step back, three-pointer, no good. Rebounded by Millard North. So the Mustangs now will take it to their end of the court. Elijah Gaith on that right wing. Nice crossover, gives over to Derek Rollins. Fakes a three-pointer, fakes a pass. Now working at the top of the key. Over to Rahman, now Neal Mosser. Mosser, tough pass over to Rollins. He connects for 2. Nice backdoor cut by the forward. Bellevue West trying to go quick. Nice pass over to a rope. He lays the bucket in. There's a foul call, and I think they're going to say the foul is before the shot.
Yep, and then Garcia checking in for Bell West.
So Jaden Jackson to inbound and under his own basket, gets it into Jacob Arope. Now Robbie Garcia right at that free throw line. Back to Jaden Jackson at the top of the key. Now backtracks to the Husker logo, working his way inside now. Kicks it over to Isaiah Morris. McMorris setting up the offense. Arope, three-point on the way from the wing, no good. Did not even hit the rim. The Mustangs now going the other way. Feed Rollins inside, he's wide open, he slams it home. Derek Rollins found another gap in the defense. He's up to 6 points already. Robbie Garcia now has it for the T-Birds. Stephen Polchak on a backdoor cut. They give it to him now to a rope, and he finishes the job. Great ball movement inside. So we're all knotted up at 12. Elijah Gaith across the timeline. Over to Rahman on the left wing. Guarded closely by Jaden Jackson. Now over to the right wing. Three-pointer by Rollins. No good, air ball. About a 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. We'll see if Bellevue West holds, but Isaiah Morris puts up a floater in the meantime. No good. Rebound by Millard North. So now the shot clock is officially off. Rahman brings it across the court. And looks like he will just hold to get his Mustangs one last look. Now he gives it over to Mosser at the top of the key. Guarded by McMorris. Working now to the left wing. 10 seconds here in the first quarter. Little pass over to Rollins. He tries to slam it home, and he's fouled on the way up by Garcia. So that is going to send Derek Rollins, who's averaging around 63% from the free throw line, to the charity stripe. So first free throw for the star-studded forward to give Millard North the lead. It's up, and it's good. So 13-12. Derek Rollins now with the line for one more. Free throw is up, and it's all net.
Mulberry checking in for Millard North.
So Bellevue West has time to get a shot off with about 7 seconds. They get it into Jaden Jackson. He'll bring it down the floor. Almost fouled. Ellen Turner now has it over the top of the key. Long three-pointer. Somehow gets close. It was off balance, but no good, and that will be the end of the first period here on Millard South Media. Back and forth ball game. Two Titans clashing off here on Class A. And Millard North leads 14-12 here going into the second quarter. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm your play-by-play Wilson Dittman alongside my partners Jonathan Spieler and Mason Steinhoff. So, guys, let's just do quick fire. What'd you see out there in that first period?
Well, Millard North doing a really great job feeding the basketball to their star players. I think if they continue to do that into the second quarter and the rest of the game, Millard North should just be fine. For Bellevue West, though, and for both teams, this goes for both teams, I think the battle in the paint is going to be key. Who's going to be more competitive tonight? You got to fight for every rebound and every one of those loose balls, and got to be a physical game down low.
Jonathan?
Yeah, I mean, Mason kind of hit everything on the head there. Just physical basketball. I think Millard North's doing a little bit better. They are averaging 43 from field goal, and compared to the Thunderbirds, 33. So, yeah, just better shooting overall for Millard North.
The current trend for Bellevue West, they're 1 of 7 from the field, and it should be noted Jaden Jackson with 0 points. Last night was very similar. Jaden Jackson went into halftime with 0 points. It was a close ball game, and once he got going, Bellevue West was hard to beat. We'll see if that's the exact same storyline tonight. It's a close game. Jaden Jackson with 0. He starts putting up points. Oh, my goodness. Millard North better watch out. So we're getting ready to go here for the second quarter. Both teams retaking the floor. Once again, Bellevue West in the all-white uniforms as the home team. We see Millard North on the other end in their all-grays. 5th time in a row these teams have met in the Class A title. They're 2 for 2 the last 4 years. And who will get this one for round 5? Millard North will inbound on the timeline, and they give it to Elijah Gaith. Gaith brings it across the midline, guarded by Jaden Jackson. Screen is set for him, now working on the right wing. Now over to Urbanek. Urbanek trying to find the crease inside, now over to Money in the left wing. Good ball movement here from Millard North. Pierce Newberry, who just checked in the ball game, caught the basketball and immediately traveled.
Yeah, I'm going to have to keep those simple mistakes down tonight if they're going to want to have a chance.
So Eldon Turner will slowly bring it across the timeline. Guarded by Elijah Gaith at the top of the key. Now trying to get a rope inside. There's a foul call before he can get a shot off. So inbound coming here for Bellevue West. Eldon Turner will do the job right under his own basket. Derek Rollins checking right back in this game to get a quick breather. Eldon Turner scanning, trying to find somebody. Now throws it up to Jacob Rope at the top of the key. Over to Stephen Polachek. 3-pointer on the way from the corner. No good. Rebound by Elijah Gaith of Millard North. You'll bring across the other end. Mustangs 0 for 7 from three-point land. Gaith drives inside and he gets it to go. Don't need to shoot threes and you're finding open lanes like that. Robbie Garcia now has it for Bellevue West. Over to Eldon Turner on the right wing. Setting up the offense. Jaden Jackson, 3-pointer on the way. No good. Both teams with an inability to shoot from the arc. Neal Mosser leading the charge for the Mustangs. Corner 3 now. No good. That one's rebounded by the T-Birds. Both teams trading opportunities. Stephen Polachek on the fast break. No good. Second chance by Robbie Garcia. Third chance by Garcia, and it goes in. So finally, Bellevue West with the bucket to cut this down to only a 2-point lead for Millard North. There's a quick stoppage on the floor. I think one of the players ran into a photographer And they're tending to that photographer on the sideline. And Bellevue West players will go over there and kind of console her. Yeah, there's a hard collision. I think they just ran into her.
Yeah.
So there's a quick stoppage on the floor as they tend to the media personnel. Currently 6 minutes 38 left to go here in this first half. Millard North leads by 2 points. Already early, you can see Millard North. I think the reason why they're up, they're not shooting well from three-point land. They're 0 for 8, to say the least. But the reason why they're winning right now is their ability to get those defensive boards, especially just crashing the glass. They have 12 boards. Compare that to Bellevue West's 8. So, again, they're still tending to the photographer. Again, I could not see the collision. I think they just perhaps just landed on top of her. Again, that's not awesome. Again, when you're kind of right by the core, that will happen from time to time. Maybe just got the wind knocked out of her. So once again, just a stoppage here for an injury on the sideline. Both teams taking this time to really regroup, corral themselves. A lot of the early game jitters, get those out of the way.
So both teams now having a lot of time to refocus, reset on their mindsets here during this break.
So again, if you're just joining us, it's just a stoppage because Bellevue West put up a tough layup. I think a Jacob rope fell to the ground, landed on top of a photographer, and she's shaking up a little bit on the ground. So they're tending to her and getting that figured out. And in the meantime, there's just been a break. Both teams talking with their coaches, getting this situated. You got to think maybe her camera's broken too. Maybe that's what they're dealing with. Again, I did not see the play, but you got to imagine he went just full. He probably just fell on top of her. And again, that's the risk, unfortunately, of being a photographer. You're just right there in the action. So looks like they're situating that. So, excuse me, we are completely wrong. Completely wrong. We assumed there was a photographer. We never saw any of the action. There was a T-bird down the entire time. That was Stephen Polacek.
Yeah, I could not see that from my angle either. Well, I just saw white shoes, and I assumed, like you said, photographers usually sit by the hoop.
Yeah, so they were right in the media area. Right when he went down, he was instantly surrounded. We assumed it was a photographer, but no, that's Stephen Polacek, the sharpshooter for Bellevue West. So that really took a turn from something that wouldn't have impacted Bellevue West to losing perhaps one of your better players. Again, he's walking off just fine. I'm not sure if he got the wind knocked out of him.
Well,
they're having somebody basically walk with him. I think he probably lost his wind.
Out.
Yeah, I think he lost his wind. So he's going back to the locker room. But anyways, we will resume play. Neal Mosser has it on the left wing. Puts up a long three-pointer now. Got it! Neal Mosser from 5 feet beyond the arc. Connects after the stoppage. Bellevue is trying to respond now. Isaiah Morris has it on the wing over to Jaden Jackson now. He's working on Urbanek, trying to back him downside the post. Now Eldon Turner pass up a three, driving to the lane, taken away by Derek Rollins. So the Mustangs will slow things down, up by 5 points, coming off of a steal. Derek Rollins now has on the left wing, guarded by Jacob O'Rourke, the big man. He has a screen set for him, now working to the top of the key, switched on to Isaiah Morris. Now throws it over to Elijah Gaith on the right wing. Gaith directing traffic, throws it all the way to the left corner. Or back, driving baseline, back to Gaith. Good ball movement, finds a layup, got it to go. And that is textbook. Pass it to another man and get him a better look. So Eldon Turner now has it for the T-Birds, down by 7 points. He'll drive inside, hop step, and he is blocked by Gaith. It'll stay with the T-Birds as it goes out of bounds. So So Eldon Turner to inbound under his own basket. Surveying, looking for anybody. Now fits in Isaiah Morris under the hoop. Tough layup, got it to go. Nice little pump fake there by Morris, and he brings it down. So Eli Gaith across the timeline now for Millard North. Up by 5, over now to Derek Rollins. Rollins setting up the play, calling a signal. Backdoor cut now to Gaith. Tough layup, and he's fouled hard by Eldon Turner. And that one was evident. I mean, Eldon Turner just went up, stopped him any way he knew how. So that is going to send Eli Gaith to the free throw line. He's averaging about 14 points per game for the Mustangs, 65% from the charity stripe. So first free throw for the point guard is up and no good. Rattles out.
Subs in for both teams. Looks like we have number 20 and 4.
Yeah, Jensen checking in for the T-Birds, along with Rahman for the Mustangs. Gaith trying to extend this Millard North lead. Misses the first one. Now second one on the way. It's up, and it is no good. Rebounded by Robbie Garcia. Gaith misses both of them. Eldon Turner will bring it down the other end slowly. T-Birds really need a bucket on this possession. Turner over to Jackson. Wide open. Three-pointer. No good. McMorris comes down the board. Second chance now. Robbie Garcia wide open. Bang. Oh, no. Misses another three. That one looked good. Missed opportunity. Two wide open looks. Clank out for the T-Birds. Rollins now has on left wing. Over now to left corner. Pump fakes. Back to Rollins. He's trying to work his way inside. Ball's poked free. Fighting for it. Gets it again. Now kicks it over the corner. Three-pointer by Gaith. No good, and it's rebounded by Jaden Jackson. Both teams have not hit a bucket as of recent. Jackson will bring it across the other end. Over to Turner. He drives baseline. Now kicks it over to the corner. Isaiah Morris pulls the trigger. And that one rattles out. Now Millard North going quick. One-on-one. Camden Money leads the charge, and he gets it to fall. 16-23 ball game.
The Bellevue West here has got to think real hard about their shot selection. They're putting up a couple bricks on these last couple possessions.
Eldon Turner has it in the corner. Retreats back to the three-point line. Now to McMorris, to Jackson. All the way around the perimeter. Now contested three from the corner. No good by Jensen. That was a bad shot. Millard North pushing the pace. Rahman, one-on-one. Tough layup. Doesn't get it to fall. Rebounded by Jackson. Now he's going to go quick. A two-on-two. He gets to the rack. Euro step. Tough layup, and he's fouled on the way up. So that will send the star-studded guard, South Dakota State commit Jaden Jackson, to the free throw line for 2. He's averaging about 80% this year. Not the guy you want to see if you're a Mustang fan. So first one up and no good for Jackson. Second one now on the way. Rattles off again. Jay Jackson misses both. Millard North will bring it to the other end. Over to Gaith at the top of the key. Over now to the right wing to Rollins. Three-pointer on the way. No good, and that one's rebounded by Isaiah Morris. 3 minutes left to go here in this first half. T-Birds really need to get back in this one. Jensen across the timeline now to Jackson. Jackson on that right wing, trying to drive baseline. Now retreats back to the three-point line. Now drives in. Tough layup, got it to go, but there's a foul before the shot went off.
Yep, that was against Millard North's Mosser. And looks like Millard North will have another check in here.
It's now Eldon Turner to inbound under his own basket. Throws up to Jacob Arope. Now Jensen at the top of the key. Jensen surveying. Now back to Jaden Jackson. Jackson working all the way to the perimeter, trying to find a hole in the defense. Now drives baseline over to the other corner. That's McMorris. Now to Jensen on the left wing. Jensen trying to find somebody. McMorris now. Good defense on his possession by the Mustangs. Arope. They feed him. He's going to back down his man. Getting to the paint. Another foul on the floor. So it will stay with the T-Birds. Millard North up to 14 fouls here in the second quarter, one away from the T-Birds entering the bonus. So now Xavier Morris has it over to a rope. A rope back to McMorris on the left wing. Jaden Jackson now has it. He'll reset, calling for a play. Working on Elijah Gates. Now over to Jensen. Pump fake. Three-pointer by him. No good. Rebounded by Millard North. Bellevue West is 1 for 10 from three-point land. Not much better for Millard North. They're 1 for 11. Gates has it. Working in the corner. He puts up a three-pointer of his own. This one doesn't fall as well. Both teams fighting for that board. Still out, and they're going to say it's Millard North basketball, and the Bellevue West fans cannot believe it. And then, yep, they did change it. The second referee came in and said it was Bellevue West ball. So even after they say it's T-Bird basketball, the fans still letting them know. So getting ready to inbound. Steve Klein setting up a play for his boys down by 7. Quick stoppage here. The refs are talking this one out. And it looks like, yeah, the refs are going to meet at midcourt to discuss something. So we're going to have another quick stoppage. So they settle whatever they were talking about, and we'll get ready for the Bellevue West inbound. So Robbie Garcia will inbound. Bellevue West has got to go the entire length of the court here with 2 minutes left to go in the first half. They get it over to Jaden Jackson, who will trot across the midline. Jackson has it, guarded closely by Urbanek. Now to Robbie Garcia on the right wing, feeding Jacob a rope inside, backing down his man, being double teamed, has to give it over to Jackson. Ball is tipped and it goes out of bounds. Who are they going to say it's out on? And they will say it's out on the Mustangs. It will stay with Bellevue West. That one was close, but Millard North, they did die for it right at the end, which made it a pretty easy call. So Robbie Garcia around that midline. Now to Jacob a rope. To Robbie Garcia. Pump fakes. Now pulls the trigger on a three-pointer. No good. Both teams just ice cold here in this first half. Both shooting less than 10% from the arc, unlike both of these squads. Neal Mauser has it at the top of the key. 1 minute 30 left to play in the first half. Working all around the perimeter. Spin move. Working inside. Now over to Rollins. Wide open, and it goes in. Jaden Jackson now the other end, going quick, trying to hunt a bucket. Tough layup, got it to go.
Wow.
Jaden Jackson with his first bucket of the game.
Showing off what the athlete he is.
And at that point down, he just said, I need something. Elijah Gates now trying to answer for the Mustangs over to Derek Rollins. Now to Money. Tough pass over to Rollins. He's working on the right corner. Back now Jaden Jackson. He's double teamed, taken away by Xavier Morris. He'll try to go the other end. Fast break. Over to Jacob a rope, wide open, doesn't take the three, and Jackson will reset. Jackson working on Major Mosser, now gives over to Jensen, now Garcia. Garcia will drive baseline, backing down his man, tough layup, no good, rebounded by Derek Rollins of Millard North. So about a 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. The Mustangs can really hold and get one final look if they choose to do so. Neal Mosser, long three-pointer from the logo, no good. Both teams fighting for the board. T-Birds get under it. Jacob will rope the other way, and he'll slow it down. Over to Jaden Jackson. Getting signals from their head coach. Jaden Jackson has it on the Husker logo, top of the key. 10 seconds left to play here in the first half. Bellevue West down by 7. Working on Elijah Gates. Now driving inside. Finds a lane. Tough layup. No good. Rebounded by Millard North. 1 second. They're not going to get a shot off. And that will be the end of the first half of action here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. In the Class A championship, Millard North, the number 2 seed, leads 25-18 over the number 1 seeded Bellevue West T-Birds in what was really a back-and-forth first quarter. And then really in the second quarter, Millard North started flexing their muscles, and Derek Rollins with 10 points, been the player of the half in this ballgame, guys.
all the key components in the first half of play. It was like the pace, the way the players played in the paint, off-ball movement, transition defense, the rebounds. Those were all key components. Both teams, like you mentioned a lot, Wilson, they're not shooting well from three-point land. However, Millard North is still shooting slightly better from the field. If we look at the stats, they're 42% compared to Bellevue West, who is 26%. So I think whatever team gets more second chance opportunities in that second half will in return have a good chance at coming out on top. And who will shoot better from the arc? You have to take that in consideration too.
Jonathan?
Yeah, I could agree. I think, personally, neither of these teams are warmed up yet, even though we're going into the second half here. I mean, 42% and 27% for a Class A school is not usual, and especially 8% from three-point range. I mean, that's just not characteristic of these teams. So I think really it's whoever can get going from the three-point range and the field goal range is going to come out on top.
Yeah, both of these teams averaging about 75 points per game, right around 37 points per half. So both teams very well underperforming. We usually would have expected a high-scoring affair. Not so much. And I agree with what you said, Jonathan. Whoever can figure out the shooting issue first will likely be the one to be victorious. So it should be mentioned that Stephen Polachek, the sharpshooter for Bellevue West, went down with a non-contact injury earlier in this ball game. We got it wrong. We thought it was a photographer at first. We cleared it up. It was Stephen Polachek, and they're already reporting that it's probably a concussion. Again, he was helped off the court. I think got the wind shaken out of him. I would be very surprised if we see Stephen Polachek back in this ball game. It looks like his night is done, unfortunately, in the final game of his high school career. Not what you want to see from him, unfortunately. That's terrible news, guys.
Yes.
It's unfortunate.
So we're going to put a timer on the screen. Halftime, about 10 minutes long, and we will be back to get ready for this second half of action. And a Class A title winner will be crowned. So get some popcorn, get some snacks here on a beautiful Saturday night in March, and we will see you in about 10 or so. And welcome back to Millard South Media. Both teams almost getting ready to retake the floor here at the halftime break. Again, if you're just joining us, the number 2 seeded Millard North Mustangs up 25-18 over Bellevue West. So we're going to take this time to look over some of the other games we saw today here at Pinnacle Bank. Starting off with the 9 a.m. game, we were here bright and early covering Johnson Brock versus Ainsworth. And Johnson Brock gets it done 52-47. What did you guys see out there in that ball game?
Throwing a curveball at me, Wilson.
About 8 hours ago. Do you remember?
Well,
barely.
Well, it didn't. I mean, for obviously Cutter Nelson on Ainsworth and Nebraska tight end commit. Didn't end the way he wanted it to for his team, but very hard-fought win for Johnson Brock.
Yeah, and we saw Ainsworth. They just really struggled to get anything going, especially long-term, and that's why they fell to Brock with their second straight title. So now let's get on to the C1 game. That was next up. It was at the 11 o'clock spot. In an overtime basketball, Wahoo gets it done against Auburn, 49-42, Mason.
Yeah, just, another great basketball game. Two great teams, and
Yeah, Wahoo both had some good players. I mean, Glock for Wahoo had 23 points. Great game for him. On the other side, Auburn, their star player, probably Bender, with 19. And a really close game came down to the final couple of minutes. Wahoo shooting 40% with Auburn shooting 36% from the field.
And, yeah, that's what high school sports is all about. Marcus Glock, we said the best player on each team, whoever was best would win that ball game, and Marcus Glock was the best player on the court. And in his senior year, he goes down as a Wahoo legend to get their first state title in over 5 years. Again, he will always be welcomed in that town for the rest of his life. So now going on to the Class B game, we saw at 1 p.m., Skutt Catholic got it done against Norris 70-63. And the number 4 seed Skyhawks win for the second year consecutive.
Yes, they did. Some more stars in that game. Scholl with 22 points, probably a huge key player for them. And then on the other side for Norris, we have Garner and Greenfield. Greenfield, obviously, as we know, an icon for Norris. Freshman coming out with 15 points. So same with Garner. And then Boziger with 14 as well.
Yeah, it was a back-and-forth ball game, but Skutt really took control in the fourth quarter. They had the big men, and at the end of the day, Norris could not stop them. But we talk about Norris. If you were a fan of Nebraska Preps, you're going to want to keep your eye on that program for the next couple years. They are entirely young. Everybody on that team returns. I would expect them to be the favorite to win the Class B title next season. So now one other game that we saw today, it was at that 4:15 spot that you two called. Amherst wins in overtime against Lincoln Lutheran, 49-47, boys.
Yeah, the game went into overtime. That's where Amherst, really pulled away. For Amherst, it was really Tej Hadwiger. He scored 32 points, just an overall dominant performance from him, and he was a big reason why Amherst came out on top. And it was Lincoln Lutheran's first ever appearance in a state title matchup, so you got to give him a lot of credit for showing up.
Yeah, they played
another
really
great basketball
well.
game.
They played really well, and honestly, for a long period, it looked like Lincoln Lutheran was going to win that game, Jonathan.
Yeah, for sure. Both teams played well, and I think it came down to experience, and Amherst really had that. As Mason said, it was Lincoln Lutheran's first year in the state title championship, and as we said, number 23, Hadwiger was an absolute icon, 32 points. I mean, highest I've seen for state championships so far.
So that was all the games so far today, and now it's time for the Class A second half. Both teams retaking the floor if you're just joining us. The Thunderbirds in their all-white, down by 7 against Millard North in their all-gray uniforms. So here we go, ready to get the signal from the referees to start off this second half. And now they will get going. Garcia for the Thunderbirds will inbound. Ellen Turner will bring it across the timeline. They're going left on the court. Over to Jane Jackson, back to Ellen Turner at the top of the key. Both teams shooting less than 10% from the three-point line. Whoever switches that around quick enough might be the one to pull this one off. Ellen Turner working inside the paint. Over to Jackson. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Rebounded by the Mustangs. Neal Monster over to Gaith, and Gaith will bring it across the midline. Gaith has on the Husker logo now to Derek Rollins, who had 10 points in that first half. Back to Gaith at the top of the key, guarded by McMorris. Now to Neal Monster. Back to Monster on the left wing. Now over to Gaith, back to Monster. A little bit of a mismatch. They're not exploiting it yet. Now Rollins has it. Ball moving all around. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Gaith has it now in the right corner, driving inside. Kicks it over to the left corner, taken away by Jaden Jackson. He'll go to the other end for the T-Birds. Pushing the pace, driving inside, spin move. Tough left-handed layup, got it to go. Jaden Jackson, he's limping a little bit. He got a little banged up in that first quarter. He's playing not 100%. Speaking of injuries, Stephen Polacek, if you weren't here in this first half, star-studded player for the T-Birds, out for the rest of this game with a concussion. Elijah Gaith on the other end for Millard North, gets the floater to connect. Both teams trading buckets. Jaden Jackson now has it. He'll drive inside, finds a lane, he connects. Jackson with back-to-back points. So Millard North will slow things down, up by 5. Derek Rollins gives to Neal Monster on the right wing, directing traffic, looking for somebody to pass to. Now over to Gaith. Gaith hesitant. Good look from 3, doesn't take it. Tough pass taken away once again by Jackson. He's been a menace so far. He is fouled while bringing up the floor.
And he was trying to go straight through those Millard North defenders.
Jaden Jackson with already 2 takeaways here in this second half. Really giving some life to his T-Birds in his final game of his career. Garcia inbounds to Eldon Turner, the Wayne State commit. Has it at the top of the key, now over to Jaden Jackson, finds a crease, wide open layup, and Jackson has 6 straight points for Bellevue West, pumping up the crowd. Millard North brings it across the timeline on the Husker logo. Now over to Derek Rollins on the right wing, guarded by Jacob Arope. Now over to Elijah Gaith on the left wing. Back to Neal Monster. Monster setting up the offense, working on more spin move, backing him downside the post. Over and out of left corner. Urbanek trying to feed it to Money. Ball go out of bounds, and it will be Bellevue West basketball. Another bad offensive possession by the Mustangs. And now Bellevue West, if they can hit a 3 here on their possession of their own, this game will be all tied up at 27.
Look at this, Millard North going back into what looks like a 2-3 zone.
Eldon Turner over to Isaiah Morris, now Robbie Garcia. A little weave action there on the perimeter. Now Jackson has on the top of the key. Trying to drive inside, tough layup, blocked by Derek Rollins. Ball is free, both teams fighting for it. I think they're going to call a jump ball. Signal is still not clear. The possession is with Millard North. And yep, it will be Millard North basketball after the jump ball.
And Millard North student section cheering, "You got swatted."
Yeah, Derek Rollins, that was a clean block on Jackson. And Jackson's just trying to hunt for some buckets at this point. That was not the greatest layup attempt. Basically double covered. So Elijah Gaith will bring it down the floor for North, up by 3. Over to the left corner, guarded closely by Robbie Garcia. Now weaving his way inside, over to Derek Rollins, who makes a cut. No good on the layup. Second chance for Rollins, no good as well. And Garcia comes down the board. Jackson pushing the pace now for the T-Birds. Has it on the right wing. Fakes a 3-pointer. Now over to Garcia. Now Morris on the left wing. Feeding Jackson inside the post. Jackson hop step. Kicks it over to Garcia. Passes up a 3. And back to Eldon Turner to reset. He sets a screen for Turner. Turner, top of the key. Crossover, left corner. 3-pointer on the way. Got it, Isaiah McMorris. The Nebraska wide receiver commit ties up this ball game.
And he has hyped it out that one. He is trying to be the leader of this team.
McMorris, who's the 6th man, is starting for the rest of this one, given Stephen Polacek out with an injury. All tied up at 27. Elijah Gaith has on the left wing, and there's a stoppage, and it will be a Millard North timeout.
And look at this. Bellevue West coming back strong.
The Mustangs getting ready to talk this one over after the T-Birds on a 7-0 run over the last 2 minutes. And that was led due in part to Jaden Jackson, who really just lit fire, not only offensively, but had 2 clutch steals, guys. So both teams still shooting very poor from the arc, about 10% for both. And again, it just feels like whoever can light fire first will be the one who comes out victorious.
And as we saw, I mean, Bellevue West is starting to get in that groove here as they're on a 7-0 lead. 7-0 deficit over Millard North.
So 27 apiece. Bellevue West on a 7-0 run.
So Millard North now has got to come up with a response. Got to have a disciplined defensive effort. That's got to pay off in a big way.
Just some background, if you're just tuning in, this is the 5th time consecutive that both of these squads met in this game, dating back from 2020, and they have tied the series 2 apiece. Bellevue West won 2 of them. Millard North won 2 state titles. Today, the 5th straight matchup for bragging rights for the all-time lead. And man, it might go down the wire. So what once was a series led by 2 star-studded guards in Hunter Salas and Chucky Hepburn now is down to Jaden Jackson and Derek Rollins. So just passing the torch. So once again, a timeout on the floor. Millard North with a full, and both teams getting ready to retake the court. So here we go, 4 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. Millard North has the basketball coming off of their own timeout. They have it on their side of the court. Mosser inbounds over to Gaith on the Husker logo. He'll immediately drive inside, kicks it over the right corner now. Urbanek trying to find somebody, now to Money, now Neal Mosser. 3-point on the way from the left wing, no good. Both teams fighting for the board. Robbie Garcia gets under it. So now the T-Birds have an opportunity to take their first lead of the second half. Eldon Turner working his way all around the perimeter. Now over to a rope, passes it to Garcia. McMorris now in the left corner, just hit a big 3, passes it up. Gives it over now to Jaden Jackson, guarded closely by Money at the top of the key. Working his way inside, spin move by that free throw line, now over to the right corner. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Eldon Turner, he'll drive inside. Kicks it over to Jay Jackson, 3-pointer on the way. Bang! Jaden Jackson connects for the triple. Millard North needs to have a response. Neal Mosser has it on the left wing of his own. He'll drive baseline, throws it all the way up, and it's taken away by Isaiah Morris. He's on a 1-on-2 fast break Euro step, and it's blocked by Money, who goes down the other end. But it will stay with the T-Birds.
So great transition defense from Millard North there. They didn't make that basket easy for McMorris at all.
So Eldon Turner will inbound under his own basket, looking for a man, finds Robbie Garcia on the right wing. Immediately maneuvers his way to the paint, now gets it to Jaden Jackson at the top of the key. Jackson working off of a screen, throws it to the left corner. Jensen pump fakes, driving baseline. Tough layup, doesn't take it, over to Jackson. Ball is free. Millard North trying to save it, just throws it up. Bellevue West takes over, now on a figurative fast break. Tough pass, hits the shoe of somebody. And after all of that, Bellevue West will have an inbound coming.
It's kind of a crazy play of events.
That's what you might see sometimes in a game with all the stakes in the world. Just crazy sequence there, Jonathan. So Eldon Turner will inbound at the exact same spot under his own basket. Surveying, looking for a man. Now throws up to Jaden Jackson on the right wing. He pulls up right away for a 3. That one falls again. Jaden Jackson is unconscious.
And here we go. Bellevue West is heating up from the 3-point line.
Bellevue West on a 13-0 run. And there's going to be a foul called on the floor that'll go on Isaiah Morris. Playing a little too physical on Rahman, who brought it down the timeline for the Mustangs. Millard North on a scoring drought of their own without a bucket for the last 4 minutes, and that's the reason why this run is what it is. Rahman inbounds over to Gaith across the timeline. 2 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. Class A state title on the line. Rollins guarded by a rope, has on the left wing. Dribbling, looking for a man, over down to Gaith. He has on the left wing. Working, throws over to the right corner. Rahman, he pulls a trigger on a 3, no good. Ball is out, and it's tipped in by what looks like Urbanek, who just found it and put it in. And a takeaway by Millard North. Tough pass. They'll go the other end. Major Monster connects for the layup.
Kind of a circus layup there, avoiding a Bellevue West defender.
Millard North inching closer, just like that.
Yeah, great response there, Mason. So Jaden Jackson trying to drive inside for Bellevue West. He's been the spark for this team. Goes over to Jensen, three-pointer, bang! My goodness, Jaden Cassio Jensen with a triple of his own. So once you get in the crowd getting loud, Elijah Gaith has on the left wing. He puts up a three-pointer. That one falls for Eli Gaith. This is what this is all about, back and forth basketball. Jensen over to Eldon Turner at the top of the key, Husker logo, trying to work his way inside to the basket. Ball is poked free over to Jensen. He takes another three-pointer, contested, got it! Oh my goodness! Is this game nuts or what? Bellevue West back to a 5-point lead. 1 minute left to play exactly here in this third quarter. Elijah Gaith on the other end for Millard North. Finds a lane. He takes the open layup. Bellevue West going the other end. They had it go quick. Three-pointer by Jackson. That one does not fall. But a rope fight for the offensive board. Second chance. And he is fouled on the way up. So Jacob Arope will trot to the free throw line for Bellevue West.
What a rebound there by Arope. Surrounded by three guys and still got a hold of it.
So first one for Arope. He's averaging about 56% from the charity stripe this year. These are some massive free throws here in this third quarter. First one on the way, gets in. Couple check-ins right now for Bellevue West. Robbie Garcia will not come in just yet. He'll wait to the next dead ball. But they put in Clayton Goff, a guy who really hasn't had too much experience, but is a senior on this Bellevue West team. The T-Birds lead by 4. Second free throw now for Jacob Arope, the big man. On the way, and it falls as well. Nice job by Arope. So he checks immediately out. Robbie Garcia gets in this ball game. 46 seconds left to go here in the third. You've got to think both teams will have an opportunity for one shot. Gaith to inbound, a little bit of a full court trap look by West. Rahman across the timeline, guarded closely by Goff. Good defense, and they're going to call a foul on him. A little bit too physical. So that means the shot clock will reset at 35. Now a 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. You've got to think that Millard North might just hold it to get one final look. Monster to inbound. Throws it to the backcourt over to Gaith. Gaith will trot across the Husker logo, guarded by Isaiah McMorris. Now over to Rahman on the right corner, guarded by Goff. Back to Rollins. Rollins immediately trying to drive inside, backing down his man. Now kicks it back over to Gay. You got to think, and they're just have no intentions of finding a good look. Now Rollins takes a mid-range J, no good. Rebound Gaith, second chance. Shot clock is off. Gaith misses the three-pointer. Rollins gets another board, and he's fouled on the way up. So back-to-back second chance opportunities for Millard North, and they will finally go to the free throw line. So Derek Rollins, now at the charity stripe, averaging 63% this season. The guy who's done it all for this Millard North squad, but only junior. First free throw for Derek Rollins, up in all nets. So first one was in, a couple substitutions with the final 10 seconds remaining here in this third quarter. Been a great game here at Pinnacle. Second one for Derek Rollins. It's on the way, and it's no good off the front iron. Jackson comes down with the board. Gives it over to Eldon Turner. 6 seconds. Ball is out of bounds, and it will stay with the T-Birds off of a deflection. So officially 6 seconds here in this third quarter. Eldon Turner will inbound. You've got to think they're trying to get Jackson this basketball. So they're on their side of the court. Millard North immediately double teaming Jaden Jackson. They get it into Isaiah Morris. He heads to the top of the key. He drives inside. Tough layup, and there's a foul called, or a travel perhaps, before the shot goes off. So now with 3.4 seconds, Millard North will have to heave something up at the buzzer. Major Mosser to inbound. He gets it into Rahman. 2 seconds. 1 second. Ball is free. Jaden Jackson puts it up at the buzzer. No good. Wow, that went right in the hands of Jaden Jackson for the T-Birds, and that would almost went in. But that will be the end of this third quarter. Bellevue West, who trailed by 7 at halftime, now leads by 4. And all I know is that it's going to be a great finish, guys. Let's take it up to the booth here real quick. And just what a third quarter of action that was, guys.
And we asked ourselves at the end of the first half, who would shoot better from beyond the arc, that three-point range? It happened to be Bellevue West, as we saw in that third quarter. They were getting a bunch of threes to fall. They have 6 total now in the game. Millard North shooting 2 for 17, not anywhere as close as good as the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, Bellevue West really started light from fire, and again, all thanks to Jaden Jackson, along with Jensen, who came off the bench. He hit a couple daggers as well, guys. So 8 more minutes to decide who will win this state title here at Pinnacle Bank Arena, the Pinnacle event, as we like to call it. And it's been just a pleasure to bring this to you the last 2 weeks with the girls' state titles and then with the boys' semifinals and championships today. So here we go, both teams getting ready to retake the floor. Millard North student section trying to pump up their boys. They have a whiteout theme, doing a chant with their parent section. On the other side of things, the Thunderbirds, their student section in a blackout theme, not as deep perhaps as Millard North, but they're also giving their team a lot of energy. So the buzzer sounds, both teams are getting ready to retake the floor off of the break in between quarters. Bellevue West leading by 4. They have all 5 timeouts in the back pocket. Millard North with only 4. So the Mustangs will take the floor, huddling up. Now the T-Birds will do the exact same thing. Robbie Garcia for Bellevue West will inbound right at that midline. He gets into Eldon Turner. Let's get this thing started. 8 minutes to decide who will be the Class A state title winner here on Millard South Media. Jacob Arope now has on the left wing, pivoting. Now over to Jaden Jackson, who had a great third quarter, and there's a foul off the ball. Looks like an illegal screen on Jacob Arope. Or excuse me, that's going to be on Millard North. They ran into Arope.
Not happy about that one.
So after all that, Bellevue West will keep the basketball. First foul here of this fourth quarter for Millard North, something to keep your eye on. Robbie Garcia to inbound right back to Eldon Turner there on the left wing, guarded closely by Elijah Gate. Eldon Turner going all the way around the court. Now feeds a rope at the top of the key, backing down Rollins, trying to find somebody to pass to, over to Robbie Garcia. Now Eldon Turner passes up a good look from 3, hop stepping inside, puts up a floater, got it to go. Eldon Turner with a massive bucket, and that's his first today. Elijah Gaith now will bring it across the timeline for Millard North. He has 13 points himself. And really the story, Neal Mosser only with 5 points, their star guard. They feed Derek Rollins inside, misses the layup. That one was contested. Fans wanted a foul. Jaden Jackson will bring it the other way. He'll reset over to Eldon Turner. Now is Xavier Morris on the left wing. Now to Jaden Jackson on the top of the key. Jackson serving, guarded by Money. Drives inside, spin move, backing his man down. Tough pass over to McMorris, and it's taken away by the Mustangs. Neal Mosser will lead the charge over to Gaith now. Gaith right at that left corner to Derek Rollins. Back to Gaith. Working his way around the arc. Right at that free throw line. Now takes a mid-range jumper, no good. Rebound by Derek Rollins, second chance, and it goes in. Nice play by the Mustangs. So Thunderbirds trying to go quick. They feed Jacob a rope, and he traveled. They threw it right up to the big man in the paint on a full court pass, and his feet got ahead of his eyes. And he's not too happy about it. The Thunderbirds shooting 5 for 7 from three-point land here in the second half. The Mustangs only 1 for 4. That's been the difference. Rollins has it at the top of the key for the Mustangs. Down by a pair of buckets. He puts up a mid-range jumper. That one rattles around and does not fall. Rebound by Jaden Jackson. He'll bring it across the other end. Bellevue West is going left on the floor. Over now to Isaiah Morris. Gives it to Robbie Garcia. He's on the Husker logo. Back to McMorris on the right wing. McMorris working off of a screen now. Over to Robbie Garcia. He pulls the trigger on a long three. That one doesn't fall. Rebounded by the Mustangs. So Elijah Gaith will bring it now across the timeline with under 6 minutes to play. Screen is set for him, working on that right wing. Has separation, pulls the trigger on a three of his own. Air ball, second chance, and it's up and in. Camden Money said, look what I found. And puts it up for the second chance bucket. And that is going to force a timeout on the floor by Millard North.
And there we go, Millard North coming back into it strong.
We knew they would not go away, fellas. And they're doing just that, fighting very hard. So quick stat update. Derek Rollins and Elijah Gaith leading Millard North with 13 points apiece. And we look at Bellevue West. Okay, they're distributing the basketball very well, but Jaden Jackson right now with 14, and he's really the reason why they lead. So both teams getting ready to retake the floor after the quick Millard North timeout. Again, real quick, I want to take this time to really thank all the viewers who has tuned in over the last week, whether that was the girls' state title games, whether that was the semifinals last night, or the games today. It's been a pleasure to bring it to you here on Millard South Media. And just a reminder for you Millard South fans, we will have baseball season and soccer season up next very soon. So welcome back to the action. Off of the timeout, Millard North playing defense on Bellevue West. Bellevue West brings it across the timeline. Eldon Turner over to Isaiah Morris. And there's a foul off the ball. Jacob Arope fell hard. And they're going to call that on Camden Money, who was just basically dragging him to the floor. So that's Millard North's second foul. Inbound coming. Eldon Turner to inbound under his own basket. Servan looking for a man. Now has to spin it into Jaden Jackson right under the hoop, and that is a shooting foul right immediately. So Jaden Jackson will go straight to the free throw line for 2 shots. Jackson, once again, averaging around 80% from the charity stripe this season. He does it in all categories for Bellevue West. So first one for the South Dakota State commit is up, and it's in. And he's up to 15 tonight. And with that free throw, Bellevue West ends their 2-minute scoring drought. Second one now for Jackson. Rattles away. Still a 3-point game. Gaith will bring it across the timeline as the point guard for Millard North. Screen is set for him by Rollins. He has it at the top of the key. Gaith now on the left wing. Surveying over to Neal Mosser, who's had a quiet day. Mosser trying to work his way inside and forces some contact before the shots. That'll be a foul on the floor on the T-Birds. So Gaith will inbound for the Mustangs right under his own basket with 5 minutes to play. Gaith scanning, looking for anybody. Running out of time now, just has to throw it up to Neal Mosser, who tries to save it. It's taken away by the T-Birds. Eldon Turner now has on the left wing. He's driving baseline, spin move, mid-range, off the glass, no good. Second chance, no good as well. And that one's rebounded by Neal Mosser. They're now going to go the other end. Fast break for Elijah Gaith. He gets out the paint. Tough layup, no good. And there's a foul or a charge on Elijah Gaith to the dismay of Mustang fans.
And that charge was made possible by Arope, who set his feet and got right in the way.
Looking at the replay, that is the right call, absolutely.
Great heads-up play by Arope there.
So Millard North with 4 fouls, 1 away from the T-Birds getting in the bonus. That is a huge storyline for the rest of this game.
And looks like the Millard North coach is not happy about that call as he's talking to a ref right now.
So here we go. Eldon Turner bringing across the timeline, up by 3 for his T-Birds. Mustang fans trying to get loud. Over to Jensen on the left wing. He just came off the bench. Working his way inside. Over the right wing. Three-pointer away by Jackson. Got it again! Jaden Jackson! Can you believe this kid? Elijah Gaith on the other end now. Needs a response for his Mustangs. Gives it over to Neal Mosser. He only has 5 points today. Neal Mosser now working inside. Circus lamp, no good. Rebounded by the T-Birds. Robbie Garcia will bring it down the other end. He's trapped. Ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be Mustangs. The Mustangs did a good job to double team him as he was bringing it down. It looked like perhaps the Mustangs might have touched it, but no, they're going to say it's off of Bellevue West. So the Mustangs will inbound on their side of the basketball court. They're going right to left. Neal Mosser, tough pass to Derek Rollins inside the lane. It's tipped, and it'll stay with the Mustangs. So now Neal Mosser will be the one to inbound it under his own basket. And you just need a bucket right now if you're Millard North. Derek Rollins in the right corner. Over now to Neal Mosser on the left wing. Almost thought about taking a long three. Gives over to Rollins. Three-point on the way from the corner. No good. And the cold streak continues. And there's going to be a foul on the Mustangs, which will send Bellevue West to the bonus. So the Thunderbirds will make their slow trot all the way over to the left side of the court. And Jaden Jackson will be the one to shoot these two free throws. So that is a massive development. The fact that Bellevue West is already in the bonus. It'll be hard for North to really scrape back in it. First free throw for Jaden Jackson, all net. He's up to 19 today. Also has 7 rebounds. He's doing it in all facets of the ball game. Second one for Jaden Jackson. Rattles no good. Rebounded by Millard North. They really need a bucket right now. Elijah Gaith across the midline. Over to Neal Mosser on the left wing. Guarded by Robbie Garcia. Neal Mosser really needing a bucket. Switched onto a rope. That's a mismatch. Takes a long three-pointer. Got it! Neal Mosser connects in fashion. That one was about a logo triple. Bellevue West now on the other end. Jaden Jackson has on the right wing. He goes all the way to the left wing. Gives it over to Jensen. Now to a rope. A rope signaling, calling out a play. And there's going to be a timeout by Steve Klein. A lot of confusion on the Bellevue West side. And we'll just keep it right here during this timeout. That was the first one the T-Birds have used in this ball game. So finally, guys, Millard North hits a long three-pointer. Again, they are officially 3 for 20 today from three-point land. But, I mean, they finally get one to fall, and it came up in a big time. So officially 3 minutes 14 left in this game. Again, Bellevue West is in the bonus for the remainder of it. That is a massive development, something that Millard North really botched. Had a couple just tic-tac fouls that could have been avoided early in this fourth period. We've said this almost all day, but it feels like whoever has the best player on the floor will win the ball game.
Yep.
And once again, that proves to be true. Jaden Jackson, as of recently, has been that player. And that's the reason why Bellevue West leads by 4. But I know Millard North fans are hoping that Derek Rollins can really have a big couple 3 minutes, and he'll be the reason why the Mustangs pull this one out. So after the timeout, Bolting is getting ready to retake the floor. We have the wave going on here at Pinnacle. It's coming all the way around, almost up here to the press box. And, oh, we have to participate, of course. All right, so both teams retaking. Bellevue West will have an inbound coming up by 4 points. Robbie Garcia will do the job for Bellevue West. All right, looking for a man over to Eldon Turner out the top of the key on the Husker logo. Guarded closely by Elijah Gaith, setting up the offense. Gives it over to Robbie Garcia on the post. Backdoor cut to Jaden Jackson. He connects for a layup. What a beautiful feed coming off of the timeout. That was a great game plan by their head coach, Steve Klein. So Elijah Gaith has it on the left wing now for the Mustangs. Guarded closely by Jensen. He'll try to drive inside. Picks up his dribble, loses his footing. They're going to call a travel on the floor.
Looked like he slid there a little. His right foot got out from underneath him.
So Bellevue West up by 6, one of their biggest leads today, will inbound going the full length of the court. Millard North desperately needs a stop. Eldon Turner on the right wing, trying to work, and he is fouled immediately. And another tic-tac foul, and you can just tell by the faces of the Mustangs that are not happy about it. So that's going to send Eldon Turner to the free throw line, given there in the bonus. He's shooting about 70% this year from the charity stripe, the Wayne State commit. Eldon Turner, first free throw, gets in. The last game of a lot of these young men careers will come down to these final 3 minutes. Second one now for Eldon Turner. Rattles no good. Robbie Garcia fought for the board, and there's an over-the-back call on him. So it will be Mustang ball. So inbound coming for the Mustangs, down by 7 points. They led by 7 at halftime, and then Jaden Jackson exploded on the scene. And he's the reason why Bellevue West leading as they are. He has 21 points. Elijah Gaith brings it across the floor for the Mustangs. They're going left to right. He gives over to Neal Moster. 3-point on the way. He's fouled. Almost gets it to go. Jacob Arope. Physical defense runs right into him. So that's going to send Neal Moster to the free throw line for 3 shots. Neal Moster, a guy who really has not got going today, but he's averaging 80% from the free throw line. Definitely a guy you want there. First one for him is no good. That's a shocking miss, especially at this stage of the ball game. Second one for Moster. That one's all net. Got to hit these right now if you're Millard North. Every single point matters in a close ball game with everything at stake. Third one up and in as well. Neal Moster, the Ralston Ram legacy, 2 for 3 from that free throw line. Now Bellevue West. Over to Eldon Turner on their right wing. Up by 5, trying to extend their lead over to Garcia. He's double teamed immediately. Now over to Eldon Turner. Millard North being aggressive on defense, trying to force anything to get it going the other way. Eldon Turner will work his way inside the paint, kicks it over to Isaiah Morris. 3-point on the way, no good. Rebound with the Mustangs. They have a one-on-one fast break. Now it's wide open. And Urbanek with the conversion. Easy layup. And there's going to be a timeout on the floor to talk this one over.
And once again, Millard North just finding their way back into the basketball game. That's what great teams do, Wilson.
That's a great point, Mason. And yeah, Millard North just fighting back. We knew it would go like this. These teams are too talented to not go out without a fight. So when we come back after this timeout, Bellevue West will have an inbound coming up by 3 points. Looking at the stat sheet, Millard North's doing it in a variety of ways, led by their leader, Derek Rollins, along with Elijah Gaith, and Neal Moster finally has been able to get going in the second half. And then when you look at Bellevue West, Jaden Jackson, of course, the storyline with 21, nobody else in double figures. You got to think, if you could stop Jaden Jackson, it might be hard for you not to come out with a victory. We're looking at the turnovers. Again, both teams kind of sloppy basketball. Millard North with 11 turnovers, Bellevue West with 8. Both of them over their season average already. So what was a low-scoring affair still really is a defensive battle for the first time in a while. Usually when these two teams play in the state championship, which is a high-scoring game, we're talking 70s, 80s, perhaps even 90s. But today, around that 50s range. So both teams retaking the floor after the Millard North timeout. The Mustangs have 2 remaining. Bellevue West, however, has 4.
Millard North fans on their feet.
Trying to inspire their boys. Here we go. Final 2 minutes remaining. A state title on the line. Eldon Turner brings it across the timeline for his T-Birds. Has on the Husker logo. Over now to Jaden Jackson. Back to Eldon Turner. He's trying to drive baseline. Guarded closely by Elijah Gaith. Working on that right corner. Now going over to the midline. Back to Isaiah Morris. Now to Jensen. Jensen on the Husker logo. Jensen back to the corner. Eldon Turner working on Gaith. Driving baseline. Tough layup on the way. That one falls for Eldon Turner. And he lets him know. Millard North going quick now. Gaith, left wing. Now Mosser. He'll maneuver his way to the paint. Backing down his man. Kicks it over Rollins. Rollins back to Mosser. Mosser to the corner. That's Urbanek. Urbanek drives baseline. All the way over to Gaith. 3-pointer the way from the corner. No good. Rebounded by the T-Birds. They're trying to trap him, and there is going to be a timeout by head coach Steve Klein with officially 1 minute, 2 seconds left in this ball game. Missed opportunity there by Millard North. Gaith had a wide open three from the corner. He just shanked it. And that's been the story of the day. Again, shooting 14% from three-point land. Not something you'd expect. It's an off day for both of these squads. So again, quick timeout by Bellevue West to really just talk this one over. Again, thank you all for joining us here on Millard South Media for this audio broadcast. I'm excited for this finish. Again, my name is Wilson Dittman alongside my partners, as always, Mason Steinhoff and Jonathan Spieler. So both teams now retaking the floor. Bellevue West leads by 5, and they will inbound under their own, Millard North's basket. Full court press look here for the Mustangs. They get to Jaden Jackson immediately. He will bring it across the timeline. Millard North expected to trap him and force a turnover. Jackson now trying to work inside, finds a crease, kicks it back over to McMorris. They have no intention of taking a shot. Letting those valuable seconds tick off the clock. Now at 45, 10 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Jaden Jackson has on the Husker logo, guarded closely. Now going to drive inside, Euro step, tough layup, rolls around, no good. Team's fighting for the board, T-Birds get under it. Second chance, the ball is going to bounce and it'll stay with Bellevue West. What a heads-up play by Eldon Turner, who came down with the board and threw it off of a Millard North player. 31 seconds remaining, shot clock is now off, and Millard North, you've got to think they just got a foul. Eldon Turner inbounds to Jaden Jackson, guarded closely. They're going to double team him, trying to trap. Get no foul just yet. And the ball's taken away. Nope, stays with the T-Birds. It's free, and a foul will finally be called, which is going to send Eldon Turner to the free throw line for perhaps the 2 biggest free throws of his career. So Bellevue West up by 5. Quick stoppage here. Both teams are going to regroup and talk to their coaches. And Eldon Turner, the senior, 6-foot guard, averaging about 10 points per game and 70% from the free throw line, has an opportunity to put this championship on ice for Bellevue West. First free throw for Eldon Turner. On the way, and it is all cords. He nails it. Second free throw for Turner to put this game on ice. It's on the way, and it is drained. 7-point lead for Bellevue West, 20 seconds left in this game. Gaith brings it across the timeline for the Mustangs. Now at the top of the key, tough three-pointer on the way. That was an air ball. And the celebration about to be underway for Bellevue West. Inbound over to Isaiah Morris. They foul him immediately. And the Nebraska wide receiver commit will make the slow walk over to the free throw line. The celebration is just beginning in T-Bird land. McMorris at the line for 2 free throws. Averages about 65% this year. First one up and in. Bellevue West, who was down by 7 at halftime, just fought their way back in this ball game. And they are 13 seconds away from clinching a state title. Second one on the way in as well for Isaiah Morris. Millard North has got to heave something up. 10 seconds. Neal Mosher across the timeline. Logo three-pointer on the way. No good. Rebounded by Bellevue West and Isaiah Morris. Ball is free, taken away by Eldon Turner. The shot clock will expire, and it's over. The dynasty isn't done. Bellevue West wins their third state title in 5 years.
What a finish.
And the celebration will begin at midcourt. And it is all hugs and tears for the T-Birds, a senior-heavy group. And a team that has been here time and time again. They get the final word over the Mustangs. And once again, they will bring the championship trophy back to Bellevue, Nebraska.
And these teams were, very well matched up talent-wise, both of them. But in the end, who made more shots that mattered? It happened to be Bellevue West. The Thunderbirds just an absolute powerhouse of a basketball program. Same with Millard North. Their futures are always bright. Both of these teams' futures are always bright. And heck, these teams will probably be right back here next year at the championship level again. So, they never failed to have impressive basketball seasons.
Yeah, both the teams have a lot of seniors on the floor, unfortunately playing their last games, but they also have a lot of young prospects coming up who are going to start and be just as good. So, yeah, like you said, Mason, wouldn't be surprised if we saw the same two next year in this exact same game for perhaps the 6th year in a row. Jonathan?
Yeah, for sure. And Wilson, I think you were on to something with the highest scoring player, as we see Jackson with 21 points, highest scoring overall, and the Thunderbirds get it done.
Yep.
Can't say I am surprised.
They done it. They did it in all categories. Jaden Jackson, MVP here from Millard South Media. He did it, and he will go to South Dakota State with 3 state titles under his belt in his T-Bird career. So that, folks, will do it for us here at Millard South Media. And I want to give you guys a special thank you for everybody who tuned in over the last week for the girls' state title games along with the semifinals and championships today. It was just a blessing bringing it to you, I know. Again, me, Wilson Dittman, Mason Steinhoff. We, of course, have Jonathan Spieler. And, of course, the MVP of this broadcast, Connor Rhodes, producing behind the scenes. And, again, us three on here on the call, we're all seniors. So this is the final time. We'll call it Pinnacle Bank Arena. So, again, this is something that we've kind of been a Millard South Media tradition. So this is the final time for us. And Connor Rhodes, again, he will be back here. He'll be back here next year for the group. So, again, just want to thank everybody who's tuned in over the last couple of days. And a phenomenal way to end things. We saw so much good basketball. I mean, there's so much good basketball.
I don't think there was one bad game.
There really wasn't, and that's really what you'd expect here at Pinnacle Bank Arena with everything on the line. So both teams getting ready, the T-Birds cutting down the nets, everybody making their way to the exit here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. So for the final time, this is goodbye from Wilson Dittman, Mason Steinhoff, Jonathan Spieler, and Connor Rhodes. We are saying good night from beautiful Lincoln, Nebraska, and we will see you all very soon. Thank you.